What's happening, YouTubes? This is VSGTLJ, better known as Tyrone, and I'm coming to you with a WLSers Beginner's Crash Course. And before I begin this, I just want to say that, one, I'm not a medical professional at all, in any way, shape, or form. So always take your doctor's opinion over mine or anybody else's. Second thing is just this is what I found to be a good way of going about things during my journey. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. They might have modifications, which is kind of the nature of the beast. So I just want to put something together to let people know what to expect during weight loss surgery and kind of the shit you need to traverse the first part of the journey, because that seems to be the hardest part is the pre-diet and then directly after weight loss surgery. So I got random shit around me here on my desk of stuff that I still use today, but they were kind of staples for me during the weight loss phase. I'm missing one thing that's really important, so I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. There was just one thing that I wanted to show that was kind of oh, look at this, my hair's messed up. We could fix that though. Anyway, there's one thing that was a life savior for me that I definitely want to show you guys. So anyway, let's get into it. So pre-diet. Your doctor's going to give you some sort of a pre-diet before your surgery. There's things like Medifast and they're called other things elsewhere, but they're pretty much a protein drink. So you're going to be needing to do a lot of protein drinks. You'll be needing to take in a lot of fluid. You're going to have to cut out sugars. You're going to have to cut out caffeine. You're going to have to cut out nicotine. And one of the questions that comes up the most is, what protein shake do you recommend? And a lot of it's going to depend on your finances, on your money. What can you afford? So for me personally, I got these at GNC. They're total lean shakes. I don't know if you guys can see that. So they come in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. And I like them all. To me, the pre-made or the ready-to-drink shakes of any kind are the way to go. They taste much better than any protein that you can get. That's just my personal opinion. So no matter what you do, I would recommend that you try the ready-to-drinks. They're a little bit more expensive, but you're going to have to drink several of these a day for a long period of time. So I highly recommend the pre-made. A lot of people go with, I think it's Premier Protein that you can get at Walmart. These you can only get at GNC, but and also I think online at certain places. But anyway, Premier Protein you can get at Walmart. A lot of people use that. I personally didn't like it. So I like this one. It's not thick. It's very watery, and that turns some people off. They don't like the wateriness of it. But anyway, I still have it. I still use it, and I used a shit ton of it. There's a picture out there somewhere. I had a whole fridge just full of that stuff. The other thing that I liked was Isopure. And you'll want to get the Isopure, the ready to drink. You want to make sure it's the zero carb Isopure. The flavor that I ended up liking the best is, what is it called? Passion fruit. There's also an Arctic one that I thought was really good. You'll have to try these because they're very not good. I mean, after a while, you kind of get used to them. As long as you drink them very, very cold, they're good. Well, they're not good, but they're palatable. Again, you'll want the ready-to-drink. You'll want the 20-ounce ones. It has no carbs. It has 160 calories. It has 40 grams of protein. So this is really good pre and directly post-op. I still drink them from time to time to get my protein in. You can get like a sample pack kind of where there's, I think, the 6 different flavors, and find the one that you like the best for you. Again, keep it very cold. So don't like refrigerate it, drink some of it, set it down for a while, and then drink it again, because as soon as it gets warm at all, it tastes god-awful. Let's see what else we got here. So directly post-op, some people eat Jell-Os. There's some other things that people can eat. But for me, I wasn't really allowed to do anything. It was pretty much like still a continuation of a liquid diet, at least for the first week. And one of the big things that saved me, besides doing the protein shakes and the Isopure, was chicken broth. I love the chicken broth. The Swanson, I don't know if you can see it, is a kind that I really liked. Now this kind here is still in the house because if you see it says 99% fat free. Don't get the fat free. The fat free I don't like. It didn't have a good taste. Get the full fat. It really tastes good. It sits well, and it makes you, it kind of satiates your appetite a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, chicken broth. This was the thing I had to go get that I didn't have sitting in front of me. So it's very good. So then from there, once you move into the mushy phase, you can try a lot of different things. I ate a lot of cottage cheese I enjoyed, but the main thing I ate, which is very odd because I hate beans, never liked beans, but I ended up going with the Rosarita beans. So Rosarita refried beans, I still have some. This one is the low fat. There's a slight calorie difference between the low fat and the regular fat. There really is no reason to go low fat. Doc might tell you something different, but you're going to struggle to take in like 700 calories after you get done with your surgery for the first at least few months. So low fat versus high fat I don't think really makes a big difference, and you're only going to be eating maybe an ounce of this. So that's something else, is when you're eating, even in the mushy food phase, you're going to want to measure everything. You're going to measure everything that you take in, any kind of food you take in. So you're going to want to get some sort of a food scale. But generally, you're going to want about 1 ounce of this. You might be able to get down at first, maybe slightly more. And then what I did to kick this up was, bam, cream cheese. So you take a little bit of cream cheese, like a teaspoonful, and you add it to your refried beans after you heat them up. It's fucking goodness. So the other thing that you can do, a lot of people like sour cream. You'll want to make a switch, in my opinion, and we still eat this way all the time, and that is to Greek yogurt. And you just go with, like this one's oikos, but it doesn't really matter. Any Greek yogurt that is just plain is going to have a very similar taste to regular sour cream, but it's much healthier for you. So what else are you going to need? So you're going to need vitamins. And the vitamins is something else that a lot of people ask about. You know, what vitamins can you take? Generally, you're not going to be able to take any kind of a pill for the first 2 weeks. You might be able to crush it up and put it in food or take it in water. But after 2 weeks, you'll be able to take pills. Capsules are a little bit iffy, but I highly recommend that you get some sort of probiotics so you can take a shit. And that's something else that people are alarmed about, is they're not able to use the bathroom. Sometimes it might be a week, sometimes 10 days. For me, it was almost 2 weeks before I went to the bathroom for the first time. So probiotics is good to take. And if you need to, you could do something like milk and magnesia. They say you can't do it, but I did it, and I know many of other people do it, and it turned out fine. So then we get into the vitamins. I use the chewable vitamins. I still take them, and it really doesn't matter. As long as it's a full vitamin, go ahead and pick it up. I usually pick them up at Walmart. I have some men one-a-days. I got this off-brand, this Spectra, Vita, whatever. Just go with whatever has the best info, the best stats for the vitamins. And is in a good price range. There really isn't a huge difference. They talk about quality or whatever. Vitamin A is vitamin A, vitamin B is vitamin B, and so on. One of the big things that people usually have problems with is iron. So your iron gets low because you're not eating any kind of red meat for quite a while, just because your stomach can't really handle it. So your iron levels get low. So you'll want to take an iron supplement, but then something else, especially for women, but men too, you're going to want to take some sort of vitamin D, calcium. And if you're taking calcium and you're taking iron, make sure you take them at separate times. Then that also brings me to vitamin D. Vitamin D is usually another deficiency that people have. For me, mine was low enough I was just able to get out in the sun more, and my vitamin D levels came back up. But make sure that you're going in, you're doing your follow-up visits, because they're going to take blood and they're going to check your vitamin levels. And sometimes you have to go on a really massive dose of vitamin D that they have to prescribe to you in order to help with your vitamin D levels. It's something that it's important that you check. So your iron levels are generally low and your vitamin D levels are generally low. I actually, in this one here, I have my B12. So I take B12 tablets. I don't know if you all see them. But anyway, they're just dissolvable. Like 25,000 whatever of vitamin B12. They seem to work fine for me. I just crush them up, stick them under my tongue, and let them absorb. They'll offer you the B12 shots. Some people swear by those. Something else that's good post-op when you're in the mushy phase is string cheese. And Laughing Cow makes a pretty good one, but this one's Polio. I'm not really a big brand whore for most things. So anyway, those are some things directly after surgery. Once you get into more solid foods, a main staple, and this is going to be a bit controversial, but Quest bars. For me, Quest bars are the best protein bars. Like this is the Oreo one, as we all like to call it, banana nut. They have all different kinds. They're a bit expensive. You can pick them up at GNC. The stats are pretty good. Again, they're a bit controversial. I swear by them. I still eat them. Still eat them every day for breakfast. And then sometimes post-workout. There's other bars out there that you can take. I personally have found nothing where it's vitamins or bars or powders or whatever that are for bariatric people that are any better than anything you could pick up at Walmart, GNC, or wherever. So just make sure you're getting everything in. Something else to help is with your hydration, because that's a big thing, right? Hydration is the most important thing, especially directly after surgery. Otherwise, you end up going in, you're going to have to get an IV, and that sucks. If you're having a hard time drinking things, if water's just too boring, people say use things like Crystal Light. Crystal Light does not sit well on my stomach. It didn't pre-surgery. It doesn't post-surgery. I use it every now and then if I make snow cones, but for me, my savior is tea. And to this day, I still drink a shit ton of tea. So I have my little water bottle, and I just keep it full of ice and filled up with tea. So as soon as I drink through this, I'll just fill it back up again. That's going to bring us to caffeine. They're going to tell you you can't have caffeine. And it's probably not a good idea for the first week or two. But if your doc tells you you can drink decaffeinated coffee or tea, then you can drink caffeinated coffee or tea. One of the big concerns, I mean, besides the vascular changes that happen, is the main concern is the stomach acid buildup. So whenever you drink caffeine, you can have a greater amount of stomach acid buildup, especially with coffees. And remember, the lighter the coffee, the stronger it actually is. So a dark coffee is going to be easier on your stomach than a light coffee. But statistically speaking, scientifically speaking, the change in acidic buildup is insignificant between decaf and caffeinated. So caffeinated tea, caffeinated coffee, I feel is just fine. That's just my personal opinion. So once you're drinking caffeines and you want to get into like some sort of a morning routine, I was actually introduced to this setup by Sarah, West of Sarah, and that is Fit Frappe. So you can get them. Most GNCs have them. I really like the espresso. I originally bought the mocha, but I ended up trying the espresso and I love it. So here's the deal. Fit Frappe on its own, if you just use water, sucks. It tastes like ass juice. And then Isopure, I don't know if you can see it. This one is creamy vanilla. And again, you're going to want to look for zero carb because they have Isopure. It's in the same exact freaking jug, but it's not zero carb. So you want to look for the zero carb kind. And what you're going to do is you're going to put one scoop. There's a little scoop that comes with the big versions of these and the Isopure. One scoop of this. You're going to put one scoop of your Isopure. You're going to put just shy of 1 cup of water, and then you're going to put in about 2 handfuls of ice, and you're going to slowly crush it up in your blender. You're just going to kind of tap it, crush it up, and you want it to be thick, well mixed, but you don't want it to get foamy. If you let it get foamy, if you let it get thin, it doesn't taste well, or it doesn't taste good. So it's a little bit of a hit or miss on getting the right mixture. But once you do, they're amazing, and it's quite a treat. So once you get into coffees, a lot of people want to know about sweeteners. Most of us are going to use the Tarani syrups. This one here, I still use it every day. This one is caramel. But they make all different flavors, so you can use a little bit of that. If you want some creamer in your coffee, you're going to want to go with sugar-free, right? Because we want to keep sugar out of our diet as long as we possibly can. Even though there's artificial sweeteners in these things, you're using a small amount. You know, you don't want to fill your cup up halfway with creamers or with syrup. So just don't get in the habit of that. So that's just kind of my idea on how you're going to deal with directly pre-op and post-op, the kind of things that you can eat, take in. Some tips before you get into surgery, which if you're watching a lot of videos, like Lace just put out a whole series on it, but get yourself mentally prepared for the surgery. What I mean by that is there's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of changes in you as a person. There's going to be a lot of changes in your relationship, maybe in your goals. You're going to go through some different phases where you are very much unlike yourself, and it's going to happen to you. It happens to everybody. There's nobody who just makes it through A-okay. So just be aware of that. A lot of people tell you don't make any life choices in the first year. I say that still stands. Get to exercise and make sure you're walking right away. You should be up doing laps in the hospital before you're released, and once you get out, continue your walking routine. Slowly go into actually hitting the gym. Generally, you're going to get okay to hit the gym at around the 4-week mark. Some people at 6 weeks. If you're a swimmer, if you live by the ocean, they're not going to okay you to do that until after your incisions are completely healed. Generally, that's, again, at the 4 to 6 week mark. So for the beginners out there, there's my tips. If you have any suggestions or you have any questions, put them in the comments down below, or you can hit me up on Facebook at VSGTLJ. I accept all friends there. And remember, if you can't love yourself, love me. I'll see you next time.